The digital world moves fast, but real growth comes from real conversations. This is eCoffee with Experts, where marketers and founders share what's actually working in SEO, AI, and digital growth. Grab your coffee and fuel your mind as we chat with top minds about their wins, struggles, and lessons you won't find in a blog post. Brought to you by Digital Web Solutions, we bring real talk to help you grow your business, one episode at a time. Let's get started.
Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to your show, eCoffee with Experts. This is your host, Ranmay here. And today we have Ricky Hayes, who is the founder and CEO of Debutify.ai. Hi, Ricky. How's it going?
Good. Thanks for the opportunity to jump on.
Lovely. Ricky, before we move any forward, take us to your early days. How were you growing up as a kid? And let's get to know more about you and also more about Debutify.ai. How did you kind of plunge into it, took the challenge of having your own setup? So give us more about yourself.
Yeah, so my childhood was as I sort of went to school and that I was brought up in a family where I was originally going to be a carpenter. You know, my father's a carpenter by trade, so I was going to be in the trade. What changed my life was at the time when I was 15, getting an Xbox 360, and I got obsessed with Halo 3, and I still am. And I got just infatuated with technology. I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. And it's sort of just passion has always been with me. Years down the track, my profession evolved into me being in the IT industry. I was sort of IT help desk level 1, level 2. I always just had a strong connection with technology. But I knew I wanted something more. I've always had a lot of ideas. I love to generate ideas and give as much value to the world as possible. And that's when I built a YouTube channel. Because I started learning ecommerce. I just had a conversation with someone I was working with, and I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. You can make money online. Back then, I thought making money online sounded like, we're talking now 8 years plus ago, that I thought it sounded like a scam because I never knew it. But I thought, well, look, what's the harm in trying to learn? And it sort of just accumulated. And then I built a channel and just sort of it grew from there. And I enjoyed building a channel, and I was mentoring people and doing course, and things were good. But I've always had where I've always wanted to be is software. I've always wanted to run software. I've just loved the fact that because it's software, you can automate it. You have a lot more flexibility. And from building all a number of failed ecom brands, I would call them failed. They didn't make much money. Number made like 50, 100 grand. I wouldn't say that they were long term, but I learned that building a website, especially on Shopify and all that, is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Excuse the French. Pardon?
No, I'm saying that's okay.
And so at the time, because I was a YouTuber and stuff, I always had this desire to build software, and then this experience where it's like when you build a Shopify store and you get all these other apps and all the time you spend integrating it and tweaking it, you spend more time on that than focusing on, your product, your marketing, your SEO and so forth. That I was like, well, I want to have a solution that addresses this. And at the time, I made a connection with someone in Canada who was a developer, and sort of things, we grew from there. And that's sort of where the Debutify came from. We sort of got the idea that we wanted to have the name that was something beautiful, that really sort of signifies like a butterfly coming out of sort of, I get it's a bit of a cocoon, that it's sort of taking its wings, it's beautiful, and it's flying. And so it was just sort of, that was where part of the name eventuated from. And then sort of further on have continued to evolve that product. Now doing really, obviously, because we're in the day and age of AI, all these AI related products. AI is sort of our first and big focus across our suite of apps, where, to make it so that one person can run a suite of apps very easily using various AI and AI agents. So that's my history basically in a nutshell.
Lovely. And, taking it from scaling a Shopify theme to a full SaaS platform, right? You would have had your own fair share of challenges. Talk us through it. I mean, what were the early challenges? How did you overcome them? First few clients, how was the experience?
It was unexpected, to say the least, right? I've never been to university or college, depending on where people are around the world. I've never learned business all the hard way, so to speak. Didn't know what it was like with hiring people,
Right.
the strategies you have to do. Like, I've had a number of, one of the very important lessons that I've learned is just that hiring someone is not hard. Hiring the people that fit within your culture, right? Everyone talks about the right fit, but the right fit really is the right fit for you. I look at it that I want to hire someone who would be my best friend. Right. And I think that's a really important thing. That's one of the things that I've definitely taken home. That's one of the most important things. I've hired many great people that I respect greatly, but they don't fit within my culture. So one of the biggest things I've learned is how important it is to hire the right people that align to your culture and that your philosophy and your vision, because it really does make an astronomical difference as to how you build, like what you can actually do. And like what you sort of said, like one of the problems that came from that was because I hired wrong, and we built like our review app was a great vision and that, but it was developed, if I'm honest, not well at all. And it's had to go through multiple revamps, and it's still to this day not the best product. Like it really, if I'm to be honest, it was a failure of a product because internally we had hired the wrong people without the right structure. And so those are sort of my two main things: hiring the right people, and then having sort of the right structure internally and focusing on that has been the most profound things that I've learned since being in business with Debutify.
Lovely. And you got a 40-member team now, is it?
Correct. Yeah.
Lovely. That's quite some growth. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. So, you have been in this space for quite some time, and ChatGPT and everything happened in, I guess, 2022 November. Seems like ages now. But yeah, I mean, what is your take on, because you are in the AI space for quite some time now, what is your take on the impact of AI at large, across industries?
Oh, it's profound, isn't it? It's there. I think AI went from being sort of nothing in the space to, as you just sort of said, in less than 2.5 years to being a standard term that's used across the board, and it's changed the entire world at the foundation. I look at like the era where Facebook and that, that changed social media, and now AI is that new shift in the whole world that's going to stick forever. And it's actually hard like to picture what the next step is in the future. All we're going to see is AI is going to continue to be, like, let's be honest, people can have their reservations about the drawbacks of AI because obviously it's never going to be perfect. But let's be honest, it's only going to get better. We're already in the day and age of AI agents. We've got MCP,
100%.
and so now the take on with AI has evolved from being just copy to then it went to generative AI to now this generative plus AI plus personalization and automation at the same time. So, AI has already evolved in the space of a couple of years to now being a fully automated but personalized thing. And so it's bridging the gap that, in the past, you would used to have people to still do the sort of human element, which you still somewhat do, but now it's really entering that day and age where you can actually build a brain and make it who you are. You can implant yourself. And so like I see that AI is only going to continue to improve business productivity, and it is going to mean that there's going to be a lot of positions that in the past that were somewhat needed will be a lot harder to justify. And like I was just seeing that just yesterday, in fact, one of my team members messaged me about an Israeli man. I've forgotten the man's name. I'm terrible with names. But an Israeli man that just got bought out by Wix for $80 million, a 6-month bootstrap startup, one man for $80 million. And it was an AI dev related tool. And that to me just signifies how the day and age we're in, where one man can make $80 million in 6 months is, you come back to it just over 3 years ago, and it'll be like, that's absolutely impossible. There's no way. Whereas in the space of 3 years, that is now possible. So it's really AI is going to, the way I see the future is that AI is now giving people that wouldn't normally, I should say, have the capacity to make their amazing ideas and innovative ideas into realities. Yeah. And we're going to see this faster than ever innovation era than ever before, thanks to the utilization of AI.
Absolutely. And, overall, right, as an industry, we have evolved with automation and a lot of AI machine learning stuff, right? And then the last couple of years, in fact, more so in the last 6 months, 1 year after people started to, kind of understand the importance and the potential of AI and machine learning. So how do you think, or rather, what do you think are going to be again, very difficult to kind of actually assume. Yeah, I mean, what do you think are going to be the trend changes for AI or automation in 2026?
That I've been wondering a bit myself. We're already at the day and age where it's rapidly evolving. Like every day there's like a new AI video model that's coming out. There's a new AI anything. What we're just going to see in 2026 is if you're running a business and that you're not using AI, you're going to struggle. Right, like that's without question. We're going to continue to see, as I just sort of said before, we're going to see we're now in the day and age where it's like, who can build the best AI that can do everything? Like we're going to, and that AI agents are going to be, we're starting to move into like, the MCP, where now I've already seen companies starting to move on that. I think that's going to be the next big thing, where now that you can build these amazing AI agents and control it and build it within your own software stack, we're also going to see now that these AI agents are going to communicate with third-party AI agents or other companies' AI agents, and both AI agents are just going to collaborate together. I think what we're now going to see is that a lot of companies, like all companies, have a lot of different software that they use. We're going to see that using APIs and integrations with AI agents, these softwares are not only going to be able to integrate, but they're going to be able to self-manage themselves as well.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I think that's sort of what we're going to continue to see a drive and focus on, because, as business owner, I mean, one of the hardest things is managing all your different software solutions. Imagine if you can have an AI agent that basically manages it all for you. I don't think there'd be many people that would say no to something like that. So I think that that's going to be a next big thing, and that tools surrounding that support a lot of that next drive and innovation and productivity is going to beneficial.
Absolutely. Now, moving on to your platform, Ricky, you have 4 modules, right? I'm really interested in the reviews module or the product that you have, because online reviews, especially in the ecom space, can be tricky, right? So how do you manage that?
Yeah, so with the reviews app, like authenticity is a very important thing, right? Like with building an ecom brand, essentially like anything in life, whatever it's an ecom brand, software brand, whatever, any type of brand, really at the core fundamental of what building a brand is trust. And so a review app to, get reviews from customers, automate reviews, and make them, get authentic, genuine reviews from customers is the main driving reason for that type of app. That, businesses, that people want to go to a business, and, whenever you look at a product, one of the first things you look for is reviews. You want to hear, is someone else's experience being good or bad? And then you start to look at, is the collective good or bad? And you sort of go from there, right? So reviews, it's in e-commerce space is massive. It's one of the key drivers that helps boost conversions for e-com brands.
Finally, Ricky, before we wrap this up, like you said, your journey from, traditionally belonging from a carpenter family, kind of getting there and then moving on to, kind of getting into AI, or let's say software, the technology side of things, the transition has been immense, right? So for our young listeners today who are trying to make a mark in the tech space or trying to start their own thing, what is that piece of advice you'd want to give to them?
Yeah, that's a great question. How would I word it? Go in expecting failure, right? Welcome failure. If there's one thing that I've sort of learned, every day I make a million mistakes, and you learn from it, right? Go in with the expectation that now with AI, you can actually develop and design your tools easier than ever before, extremely cheaply. And that go in with the perspective, though, of there's going to be a lot of people already, quote unquote, achieving the success that you wish to have, and don't get caught up in their success. Congratulate them for their success and their hard work that they've worked towards to get to where they are today, and learn from them, and expect that it's not going to be an easy journey. No matter how good AI is and AI agents and all of these amazing buzzwords and technology is nowadays, it doesn't change that the fundamental is still going to be that you need to know, no matter how good an AI tool or anything is, if the operator doesn't know how to operate it, the tool's not going to operate very well, right? So one of the things is that I see that a lot now is that everyone's like, that AI is going to allow me to be extremely successful really easily. And in theory, that is true. But the core fundamentals of business will never change, that you're constantly learning through failure, right? If I look back at my journey, it took me a long time and I still make a million mistakes today. The journey is a never-ending journey of failure, embracing failure and being like, what did I learn from that failure? Because what happens then is that through those accumulative experiences of failures, because you really learn a lot more from failures than you do successes. It just
100%.
sticks a lot better, right? And so embrace failure. Embracing failure is the number one thing that will make you extremely successful. And being persistent with it. I've been through many, many dark times. I've been depressed, severely depressed, just because between managing just a million things at once, half the time all you want to do is go to bed and sleep, right? You just want to avoid. But between accepting failure as the failure is actually you progressing and accepting that it's going to take time and be persistent with it, you will find that there will be, I don't know how to describe it other than like the snowball effect where things will just start to click into place. And then at one point you'll look back and be like, hey, this guy is where I used to be and look how far I've come. So that's sort of my key advice that I would say.
Lovely. Thank you so much for the detailed insights and the wonderful advice you had to give to our young entrepreneurs. Lovely. Ricky, this has been a great session. Thank you so much once again for taking out time to do this with us. Really appreciate it, man.
My pleasure. Thank you. It's an absolute honor to be here.